In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to play an acoustic blues solo in the styles of Eric Clapton, Stevie Ray Vaughan and others. So stay tuned. Hey there, this is James for James Shipway Guitar, and welcome to my acoustic blues guitar solo lesson. In this lesson I'm going to show you a short little solo using some great licks from players like Eric Clapton, Stevie Ray Vaughan and a lot of other blues legends. Now you can get the tab, chord shapes, scale shapes and everything from this lesson and a whole bunch of my other YouTube blues guitar lessons by getting hold of my blues guitar bundle. Now you can get that for free by clicking the link right underneath this video. So grab your blues guitar bundle now and let's get started. This solo is in the key of E, and before we get started I think it would be a great idea to look at a couple of the scale shapes that we're going to be using to play this guitar solo. So the first thing we're going to do is look at an E minor pentatonic scale down at the open position using some open strings. So let's have a look now at how we play that. We're going to play the open E string, then the E string at the 3rd fret, the A string open, and then at the 2nd fret, open D string, 2nd fret, open G string, 2nd fret, open B string, then on the 3rd fret, and the open top E, and then at the 3rd fret on the top E string. Now a lot of you will have seen that already. Let me show you another way to play that scale, which uses a slide to connect this part to some higher notes here. We play the low E string open, then at the 3rd fret, open A string, 2nd fret, open D string, 2nd fret, then on the G string we're going to play the open string, the 2nd fret, then we're going to move it up to the 4th fret. You can slide that if you like. Then we're going to play the 3rd fret and the 5th fret on the B strings, and the 3rd fret and the 5th fret on the top E strings. Now a lot of these licks are using the open strings from this scale, even when we're playing a little bit higher up the neck. So this can be a little bit confusing at first, and really I think the best way to get a hang of it is just to learn some great sounding licks which use some open strings in them. And that's what we're going to see a lot of in this solo, so it's really going to set you up to improvise in this style. Now the first chord when we play a 12-bar blues in E is an E7 chord, and this very first lick is actually using a fragment of the E7 chord, and this is a great device which helps your solo sound really melodic and helps it really bond with the chords in the 12-bar blues. Now if you imagine this E7 chord shape here, I'm going to play the D string at the 2nd fret, I'm going to play the G string at the 4th fret, I'm going to play the B string at the 3rd fret, and I'm going to play the top E string at the 4th fret. This chord's in the blues guitar bundle, so you've got the tab and the chord box there, but if you haven't got that, that's the shape. So we're going to borrow this fragment of this chord shape here, the G string at the 4th fret, the B string at the 3rd fret, and the top E string at the 4th fret. And we're going to use some of that to play over our E7 chord, the first chord in the 12-bar blues in E. So we're going to play that there, we're going to slide into it, and pick it twice more, like this. Now I'm picking that down, up, down. I'm going to do that 4 times all together like this. Then I'm going to hit it one more time and kind of slide off the chord. So that's the first part of lick 1. Then there's a short rest, and then it carries on again. But we only do it 3 times, and then we play the last one and slide off there. So we get... Then we have a little scale run here. We're going to play the open top E string, the 3rd fret on the B string, the open top E string. Then we're going to go 3, 2, open on the B string. So notice we've added this note into our minor pentatonic scale, a really common sort of device that you hear lots of players like Clapton do when he plays his acoustic stuff. So you can just add that into the minor pentatonic scale that I showed you and experiment with using that lick. Then we're going to play the open G string and we're going to hammer on our 1st finger to the 1st fret and then play the open top E string. I'll talk about that added note in a minute. Here's the lick. And I'm letting those last 2 notes ring together. So where's this note coming from? Because it's not in our scale shape. Well, it's another note in the E7 chord. If we think of an E7 chord, which we might play like this, or even just a basic open E chord here, you can see that note's in there. So we've added that into our minor pentatonic scale just to get some sound of the chord, and it's a really sweet kind of nice majorish bright type sound, which just kind of decorates your minor pentatonic scales nicely. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Right, lick 2 is a really cool little device to get into playing. Let's look at how we play it, and then I'm going to explain where it's coming from, because it's using another sort of scale shape up here, but it's also fitting really closely around the chord shape that we're playing at the moment, which is an A7 chord. So we'll look at where it comes from in a moment. Let's have a look at how we play the lick. It sounds like this. So I'm sliding into the 6th fret on the G string now, and I'm using my 2nd finger for that. Then I'm playing, my 1st finger is playing the B string at the 5th fret twice. Then I'm going onto the top E string and I'm going 7, 6, 5, 8 on the B string with a little bluesy bend, and 5 on the B string. That sort of thing. The next part of this lick does that again. You get to there and then we change. We go back up to 5 on the top E, back down to 8 on the B string, 5 on the B string, 6 on the G, and 5 on the B. So I'll put both of those bits together for you now. So where's that lick coming from? Well, it's kind of coming from an A blues scale pattern up here. It's also coming from some notes in an A7 chord shape. If you imagine this A7 bar chord here, you can see this 6th fret note on the G string. It's an important note in the A7 chord, and we've just sort of dropped that note into our E scale in a way, just to really make this lick fit the sound of the A7 chord. Now this is a really cool little device, and you will see it called other things. You'll sometimes see it called the BB King blues box and minor 6 pentatonic and different sorts of things, but I like to think of it as coming from around the chord shape here and the E blues scale here. So let me show you this kind of scale, which is kind of a mixture of these notes thrown together. It doesn't sound great as a scale, but it's a really cool source of some licks and ideas, so experiment with it. I'll show you the fingering now. We're going to play the A string at the 7th fret. That's our root note, that's our E note. 5 to 7 on the D string. 4, 6, 7 on the G string. There's our added note in there on the 6th fret, coming from the A7 chord. Then we're going to go 5 to 8 on the B string. And 5, 6, 7 on the top E. Again, that fingering for that scale is tabbed out in the blues bundle for you, so you can check that out and experiment with it, because there's a lot of cool ideas in there. Let's have a look at how we play lick 3. This is a great little idea using some open strings. Sort of thing you hear Clapton and Stevie Ray play a lot in their playing. So let's look at what we're doing here. We've got this little double stop here. 4th fret on the G string and 3rd fret on the B string. And that's kind of coming from this sliding scale. It's also a fragment perhaps of that E7 chord shape we saw earlier. So whichever way you look at it, learn it and use it because it's a really cool little device which will add a lot into your playing. Now we're going to pick that as a double stop and slide into it. Like that, play it 3 times, and we're going to do that again. And then one more time like that. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. So we got... Here we go. That's how that lick goes with the previous lick. Now we're going to play the G string, the B string and the top E string. And we want them to ring together here. And then we're going to slide 4 down to 2 and pull off and play the D string at the 2nd fret. So I'm sliding down to 2, pulling off to the open G string, playing the D string at the 2nd fret. Real nice bluesy sort of lick there. And then we're going to do a trill. Now a trill is where we rapidly hammer on and pull off between 2 different notes. And we're going to play the open G string and hammer on to 1 here. This is very bluesy sort of sound. And then play the open top E string. Okay, so that's the first part of lick 3. There's a little bit more to that one, but let me play that first bit again. The next part of this lick is going to use a B7 chord shape. Now the chord shape looks like this. It's the 2nd fret on the A string, the D string at the 1st fret, G string at the 2nd fret, open B string and top E string at the 2nd fret. We're going to play a little bass run that leads into that. We're going to play the open A string, the 1st fret on the A string, and then we're going to play the 2nd fret on the A string. And as we do that, we want to grab our chord shape because we're going to pick across it. So we want to be holding all the notes down in that chord shape when we get to it. Like that. So you can see I'm playing there. Then I'm playing my chord shape. And what we're going to do is pick the A string, D string, G string, and then hit the top 2 strings or the top bit of the chord. You might catch the G string as well. Doesn't really matter. That is the kind of sound we want there. Okay, so we get... So that's how you play lick 3. There's quite a lot in there. You're going to need to break that one up, I think, and work through it slowly in fragments, but a really cool lick, packed full of some really nice devices there to add into your playing. Okay, so lick 4 is following on from this B7 chord. We're going to play the open top E string, the 3rd fret on the top E, pick it and pull it off to the open top E again, then play the open B string. Now we're going to grab the 3rd fret on the B string and slide it up to 5, and then play the open top E twice, like that. So we get... Now we're going to come back to this little double stop shape we saw here earlier, the 4th fret on the G string and the 3rd fret on the B string. We're going to play the G string, the B string, and back to the G string, and I'm kind of letting them ring together. Go down to 2, pick it and pull off, and to the open G string, and then play the D string at the 2nd fret. Kind of thing, and then hit the open low E string like that. So that whole lick goes like this. Lick 5 is similar to a sort of classic blues turnaround idea, and what we're going to do is play the G string at the 4th fret, the open top E string, and the 4th fret on the G again. Sliding into that first note a bit, move it down a fret to the 3rd fret, do the same thing, go to the 2nd fret, and then play the open G string, hammer onto 1 again, play the open top E string, 3rd fret on the B string with a little bend, then the open B string. To make it a bit easier to learn, I'm going to now join together licks 3, 4 and 5 before we have a listen to the whole thing connected up at the end of the lesson. So from lick 3, 4, 1. Okay, so take those licks from that solo, experiment with them, use them. They'll sound great in acoustic playing. They'll also sound great in electric guitar playing over blues. So experiment with them, see what you can do with them. Now you have to use them, you have to experiment with them in order for them to become a part of your playing. So take them to pieces, see what you can come up with. Now if some of these are a bit fast or a bit tricky for you at the moment, then slow them down, make them easier. They'll sound good over fast blues, they'll sound good over really slow blues, okay? So they're very versatile. Whatever level of player you are at the moment, you'll be able to make them work for you. Don't forget to get your blues guitar bundle by clicking the link underneath. Everything from this lesson, the solo tabbed out, scale shapes, chords, really help you get the most out of this solo and help you to integrate it into your playing. So that's about all from me today. If you found this lesson good, please like it. Please leave a comment if there's anything you want to say or any requests for lessons or any questions you've got about this or anything else. I want to hear your questions. So don't be shy, leave it in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel too if you found this lesson good so that you'll find out about all the other lessons I post on my channel. But other than that, I think it's time for me to go. So thanks a lot for watching and I hope to see you again very soon in another one of my lessons. So take care and I'll see you next time.